don't correct it within the allotted time, we will know that this is intentional. So if it is an error, please, this is an error, correct it now. Labour Party won in all the polling units in this ward, and this is the number they use in winning. Because the rigging is not usually to make you lose where it is your stronghold. It's to reduce the vote by as much number they can reduce so that it will work out their permutation. Many of us don't know that election have already started. It has started long ago. These processes, even the agents frustrating us in uploading agents, is part of the strategy to reduce our strength in terms of what the Electoral Act has provided. How many of you know that there is also room for supplementary agents to be uploaded? Are you aware? There is room for supplementary agents to be uploaded. And we beg all of you, when you go back, this is what we should focus on. As we mobilize people, we should also use our what they call it, discretion, like what Honorable Palmson said, that the people you will see that are ready and hungry for this change, you will see them in this meeting. Engage them and make them come in as agents. We would love to do the replacement the moment the window for replacement is open. Reason because, as I round up, reason because we are also aware of what the electoral law says, the act, that any polling units that you don't have an agent, you don't have the right to contest it. You don't have the right. If you like, be the polling unit ambassador and chairman, you are not the agent, so you cannot contest it. I don't know if you understand. You don't have an agent, you have lost that polling unit. So we are aware of this important milestone. And when they were frustrating the upload, we knew where they were going. So the truth now is, the application for the results upload, let me just show us so that we'll see how it looks like. It's very simple. Like my father will always say, son, make sure this thing is as simple as anything that even the dummy will become a pro using it. And this is exactly what we did. Okay, sorry, I forgot that my system here is not connected here. They actually copied my slide. Okay, let me give us the link. Please, can you open the slide? Okay. Or just take down this, and I'm sure the people at the media will help us type it. Just type this or write it on your jotter. It's the same address. cbbn.project. Yes, cbbn.projectwatch.com.ng. CBBN. No, don't worry about the portal. The reason is, this is the landing page. So from there you will see what you can engage with. So at the moment, we don't want you to be distracted. So what you will see at the landing page is just the mobilization form. cbbn.projectwatch.com.ng. So project, then watch, one word, as one word. .com.ng. So this will take you to the landing page where you are going to see the mobilization button for those with PVC and those without PVC. Okay? So this election, like we often say, is not just for those with PVC. Yes, those with PVC are the most important entities for this election. But those without PVC can also get involved in doing the mobilization, sensitizing people, going, all the activities that has to do with electioneering. So that's why we believe those who believe in this movement are also part of this obedient family that are one way or the other do not get their PVC. Then they must be given the opportunity to get involved. As I round up, with hope that we are going to continue this in a virtual environment, I believe we all registered our contact information. We'll be engaging with you from time to time through different mediums, including calls. And this afternoon, we are going to you will receive some phone calls, maybe during the lunch hour. These calls are automated calls, just to let you understand how ready we are. So we can use our principal's voice, our daddy's voice, any voice, to pass messages to people that you think need follow-up through such medium. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate the opportunity once again.
You can do better than that. Clap your hands very well for him. Some of the states in the Southwest where we were privileged to supervise, we ran into a lot of problems. But one of those days, one of those nights, I just called him and I told him to school me on some of the ways I could achieve quick results. And under a few minutes, an hour, he gave me some very vital tips that some of you can testify that under 1 day, 2 days, we had massive results coming in. So please take the advantage, leverage on this opportunity. During your lunch hour, you can also get to him. One more time, thank you, sir, for this teaching. Can you celebrate him one more time? Also, a lot of persons have indicated that they have one question or the other. Some also said they have one contribution. After the last presentation, you have those privileges if we have those time. Thank you very much one more time. Without any waste of time, can you jam our hands together as we call on our father, the Deputy Chairman, Professor Haruna Dabin, for his lecture. Please, can you do that? Clap your hands. If you clap louder, he will come faster. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We started a little exercise, I think when Malo came. It's not good to be sitting for too long. Let's take some breath air. Can you stand up and stretch? We'll just do a very short exercise. Just climb your toes. Climb your toes. Climb your toes. Climb your toes. Then breathe in. Hold it. Hold it. Down. We'll do it one more time. Just hold your breath while you climb your toes.
More music on tunesjam.com.
Hold your breath. Hold your breath. Hold your breath. Hold your breath. Down. It's okay. Please sit down. The paper is already on your program booklet, and I don't know whether you'll be flashing it. So I would not be taking too long. I'll just emphasize some key points, and then we'll move on from there. Again, let me join the other presenters to thank God for this opportunity and to thank our Father in the Lord, Prophet El-Buba, for the leadership and all others in the local organizing team. And all of you have traveled long distances. It's a pity we are not able to do our roll call because of constraints time, but immediately after the question and answers, we'll now do our roll call. So just to set you to be prepared for us to know every state and what level of documentations you have. We will be doing that after the question and answers following this presentation. Now, every election is a political exercise. Every election is the most critical political exercise because it is that exercise that enables you hand power from one person to another, from one team to another. When in 2015, people thought, oh, PDP was going to win and all of that. You recall the drama of El-Buba at the Collation Center? Now, those are the things that happen at the apex of an election. So this is the most serious exercise. The other day I was in a meeting and one of our leaders got up and said, hey, look, when these elections, if we don't prepare for 25th February, everything else we've been doing will become useless. So it's really very important that we give it every consideration. And it's not a matter of life and death, so to say. We must win. It's a matter of life and death. No, we will win and win clean. There will be no contention about it. So just first encourage us that honestly we will win. And I keep telling people that from my interactions around the country, I don't think there will be a second ballot. Peter Obi and Labour Party will win clean in the first ballot. That's why some months in our last training, we said to look, there will be no Christmas, New Year last year until 25th February. It's very, very critical. We work hard towards it. But we are not the only ones working very hard. Everybody else is working very hard. The issue is how are they working? What preparations are they doing? What preparations are we doing? Let me tell you a very small story that I heard that keeps my mind tickled about the fact that we know that what they are doing, we know what they are doing. And we are prepared also to counter whatever they are doing that is wrong. In a small community, one gentleman was doing very funny things with another man's wife. And the man could not really confront the guilty person. The man is, these traditional barbers. In Hausa, they call it Dangwanzam. Who uses very sharp scalpel to shave the head neat. One of those days, the man who is alleged to be going out with his wife came to be barbed. So he dressed him very well and put soap and was, shaving him very neatly, and the man was enjoying it. Suddenly, the barber put the scalpel on his throat and said, do you know that I know that you know? The man was now shivering because the scalpel, and if it goes deeper, you'll see blood. He said, do you know that I know that you know? Then the man who was being shaved He said, yes, sir. But do you also know that you know that I have stopped? You know, a few days ago, as soon as we started the polling agents uploading, somebody very quickly went to the media through a Twitter handle and said that Labour Party was not able to upload 90% of polling unit agents across the country. On that very day, one of the key leaders, I think the deputy campaign manager or somebody, sent the message to me, and I said, this is very bad propaganda. In the first place, INEC will not disclose the polling agents of any party to the public. Besides, it just started, and it is an electronic process, and they gave almost 2 weeks. So how is it that somebody suddenly will begin to single out Labour Party? Why are they not also talking of the other parties? Of FCF and AFC and all the other ones. Why are they not talking about them? So the reality, and then a few days ago, one of our leaders in Labour Party released the information that actually Labour Party, before the 20th of January, the closing date, had uploaded over 85% of polling unit agents with their passport photographs across the country. And I'm sure that by the time 20th January, you would have done 100%. So that was to send warning to them. Do you know that we know what they know? Now, it's a very brief paper, but I've said that elections so far in the country in the last, there have been 6 elections. This is election number 7 in this year. General election number 7. In the last 6 elections, there have been trends. And we have grouped those trends into 3 critical groups. Now, it will affect our strategies, whichever part of the country we come from. There are parts of the country that we are working towards at least more than 85% winning of, getting votes in those states for Labour Party, for Peter Obi. It means that if you have more than 75% votes cast in favor of Labour Party, you will block any other candidate from getting the 25% required. Because to win elections, there are 2 conditions. One is you have the highest number of votes cast, and you would have won at least 1/4 of votes, which is 25%, in 2/3 states, which is 24 states, and FCT. So there are states, and let me start first from those states. For us, there is the victory belt. The victory belt is where we are gunning for at least 75% or more. And you will notice that in the paper, there are 8 states. 8 states of the Middle Belt, particularly Adamawa, Benue, Kogi, Kwara, Nasarawa, Niger, Benue, Taraba, and FCT. In these 8 states and FCT, the plan is at least 75% and higher. So you already would have blocked any other candidate from getting 25% in those states. And then there are sections of the Middle Belt where we would at least get the 25% required in their states. Borno, Bauchi, Gombe, Kaduna, Kebbi, Yobe. They are all part of the Middle Belt. Now, the Victory Belt actually composes of the Middle Belt, the Southeast, and the South-South. And the Southeast has 5 states. South-South has 6 states. And within our projection, the 8 states in the middle belt plus FCT gives us how many states? See if you can do the calculation. 5 plus 6 plus 8 and FCT 20. That's the victory belt. And you would notice that at the end, where the summary is given, analysis of victory belt blocks by regions, the middle belt is proposed to have at least 21 million votes, Southeast 10 million votes, South-South 13 million votes. By the time we hit 48 million votes, we've cleared the coast. And then we would also have had these 19 states and FCT, and we'll be able to pick some parts of the middle belt which are part of the victory belt. The second belt is the Northern Alliance. This is a very conservative area, and this is an area that we will need to do a lot more work, not so much to harvest so many votes, but at least get 25% and block any form of rigging. There are two issues I must raise with yours. One is that there are many areas that are under the control of bandits and Boko Haram. Now, they are planning to use those areas to rig the election. And already our research teams have raised the number of voters in all those states, ranging from Niger to Kebbi, to parts of Sokoto, to Zamfara, to Katsina, to Borno Yobe. We've calculated how many votes are under all of those areas, and already we are working with different civil society organizations to raise it with INEC. Either you don't allow elections in those areas, or nobody will use them, because we already know how many votes will come out from that area, according to their registered voters. And most of these areas under bandits and Boko Haram are in the north. They are part of Northern Alliance. So we must do everything at the polling units to be able to get at least our 25%, but block rigging. And like the ICT man said, rigging in these 2023 elections may not particularly be at the polling units, because they know many more eyes are on it, but we must watch at the ward collations, because it's from the ward collations that finally Beavers will upload to the national server. So we must do everything at polling units and at ward collation. And that later, when we'll be doing a very practical exercise, we'll now be looking at areas that we can handle the ward teams and the polling unit teams and what they must do. So the second block is the Northern Alliance and the very conservative alliance. Now, some of the things that will work against the Northern Alliance, previously, they will usually have one candidate, one dominant candidate that they can campaign for. In 2015, their dominant candidate was Buhari. In 2019, they had Buhari and Atiku, but of course, they preferred Buhari, who was already incumbent. Now, they are struggling with an Atiku candidate. They are struggling with a Tinubu candidate. They are struggling with a Kwankwaso candidate. And one of the very critical factors I'll be raising before I end is the age demographics of this election, which even for the Northern Alliance, I sense in my spirit that the age demographics will so overwhelm the traditions or the traditional voting patterns. Now, the third is the rookies. Now, rookies are the fairly unpredictable groups that you never can tell. And for us, I didn't mention at first, the victory belt for us is the green belt. You know, when you see green, you know that this is life and things were going well. For us, this is the green belt. The Northern Alliance is the red belt. Because we may not do so much more there, but we must maximally block any challenges. Then the rookies is the yellow belt. The yellow belt. The yellow belt is particularly southwest Nigeria, where elections have gone one way or another. The yellow belt. And from the way we have, done a lot of mobilization, even from the rallies. Somebody said that we shouldn't bother about rallies, that, rallies don't win elections. I say, no, it's not true. Rallies win elections. Yes, it may not be the most dominant factor, but when you see millions or thousands of people following a candidate, you know something there. Yes. If rallies don't win election, why would people conduct rallies? So we must give a lot of attention to it. The rallies we have seen in Southwest are indication that something good is coming out from there. So, a number of strategies we must adopt. Because ultimately we are hoping the timelines we are going to develop here is the canvassers and polling unit teams, particularly in the victory belt. We must do the house-to-house campaigns very vigorously to ensure that we have the highest voter turnout. The problem of the victory belt generally is low voter turnout. This time, everybody must be out, and we will wait at the polling units. So we must, insist and ensure that people come out in their numbers, particularly in the victory belt. And in the red belt, the yellow belt, the Northern Alliance, the rookies, we would be careful to do a lot of damage control. Because like I said at first, we've already told them that we know that they know that we know. So they're not going to push us aside. Finally, what are we expecting at the polling unit teams? It's very critical. We're expecting between 5 to 10, if possible, polling unit teams, canvassers, polling agents, those who would also do some security measures. So we're expecting at least these teams to be able to, particularly the polling unit agent. Now, INEC is requiring that we only present one candidate with the passport photograph. It means that these tags are not transferable. Because if you transfer your tag, if I transfer my tag with my picture to another person, the person who carries can be liable. So, when our ICT man was talking about the window for replacements, we must ensure that anybody who is our polling unit agent is not only a man of integrity and nobody that can sell or somebody that cannot sell out, but on the election day, they will not go to pee. No, they will not leave election place for any 1 minute. They will stay there, koro from morning until the elections are ended. Polling units, they are very critical. But you see, we're insisting on teams because it is easier to compromise one person than to compromise 5 people. When 5 people are in a team, if somebody comes and calls the other person, say, well, come now, make we go do something, the others will follow him. What are you going to do? Because we need to know. So it will be very difficult to compromise a team. So we are hoping to build teams at the polling unit level. So the polling unit agent is the one that will check the beavers machine before the start. And the emphasis has been ensure that the beavers machine reads 0000000. Everything on it is 0. There shall be no figure before we start accreditation on the beavers machine in every polling unit. That's very important. And it's only the polling agent who is accredited with a tag that can do that. Then he also checks the election materials, that the ballot paper is applied to the polling unit is the number that is said to have been delivered, and whatever other forms, from EC81, all of those, down the road when we finally get there, so that you know that what forms the result fields the result sheets that are going to be filled. I heard the party is also working on some training for all polling unit agents before the elections, and I hope we get through with this. But the polling agent is the most critical for the election. And like our ICT man said, if we don't have a polling agent at a polling unit, we can't make any complaint about that polling unit. Because the official person that can make a complaint is the agent. So it's important that we fortify the agent. And if perhaps we are going to review the agent list that we've sent to INEC, if perhaps there is any that there will be need for replacements or some that will need to be filled, we'll do that when that window comes. Then part of the members of the team will be canvassers and mobilizers. Canvassers are part of the team that will go door to door. When, I think Selma, when she comes later, she'll be talking about some of the things that we'll do. And like Honorable Pumpson had told you, we are not hoping, each of you will take sample ballot paper and the micro stickers. We are hoping also that the other campaign materials will come before the end of today. So you can go home with some definite material. This sample ballot paper is for canvassers to use door to door. Let them know that this logo, and there are two, there is ZLP and then there is LP. We must show them that ZLP is different. That one is a staircase, people climbing up and down. And there are 4 people on that staircase. 5. Okay, 5. I thought that's good. The LP logo there are 3. Papa, Mama, and Pikin. I love very early in this electioneering, that one of the slogans that came is that it is time not to vote for things anymore in Nigeria. We must vote for people. Human beings, exactly. We must vote for human beings. For too long, the umbrella scattered. It's a thing. The broom came and scattered. This time is for people, for Papa, Mama, and Pikin. So we must let them know the voting. And of course, the sample ballot will show us that the index finger, and we must school people to know that the index finger is the one to use for voting. It's a smaller finger, and you will not easily cross the boundaries on the ballot paper to thumbprint. So it's not going to be thumbprinting, it's fingerprint. We'll use the index finger, and the sample ballot paper also has the index finger that is critical for us to use for voting. And then there will be those who will do our small security. There will be the anti-buying and anti-violence team, part of the polling unit team. Anti-violence. There shall be no violence. Anybody that's trying to cause commotion, please pull him aside and say, "Oh God, not for today." Oh. Just calm down. Thank you, ma'am. Just calm down. No fight today, oh. Because we must deliver. And some of the methods they are planning to rig, particularly in the Northern Alliance and in Southwest, particularly Southwest, is to introduce violence. We know how many thugs they have hired in Lagos. That's why I shared that story, that we are telling them that let them know that we know what they know. Unless they tell us that they have stopped. Otherwise, let them know that we know what they are planning to do. So, no violence. And then, when you see anybody come with any strange bag to the polling unit, anything strange, and he is asking somebody aside, raise alarm. And our ICT teams, you'll need to know how you can raise that, send that alarm immediately, because that person is buying votes. They will bring bags around in the polling unit to want to bribe people. We will stop it. We must insist that that should not happen. So I think that a lot has been done. The keynote address of our leader, the prophet, was very emphatic. We cannot afford to fail God and fail Nigeria. That's why I want to end on that point. The generation that has arisen, and INEC has proven it, the age demographics of this election is that almost 60%, in fact about 58 point something percent of voters are between 18 and 45. Not old people like me. Between 18 and 45 are over almost 60%. In fact, if you reduce it between 18 and 35, they are still more than 55%. So it's the young people that are going to determine this election. The population that I saw in the rallies in Kano and I saw around the north, they are young people. They are not, and this is not about religion. It's not about whether you're, and it's not about tribe. It's not whether you're Muslim or Christian. Like Peter B will say, where is the market that Christians go and get things cheap? Or Muslims go and get it cheap? Tell me, I'll go to that market. There is no such market. So the youthful demographics is very key, and we must ensure that we cannot fail God. No, fail Nigeria. That we have a farmer mentality, like our first paper said. We are ready to invest in Nigeria. The philosophy of the obedient movement is sacrifice. Like Honorable Danja said. We rose to support Peter Obi, not because of what he will give us. I recall one of the very first meetings we had in Abuja some months ago. They invited us, a few researchers and thinkers, and we're discussing around the Middle Belt. And when we finished the meeting, one of the leaders said, before you go, we have some provision, we have some envelopes for you. So we'll take care of your accommodation and your feeding. I said, sir, I don't want to take anything from you. Not so much because I don't need it. But I don't want you to have the impression that you called me to this meeting because of an envelope you give me. The sacrifices I've made all this while, it's not because I want to take anything from you. I said, keep your envelope. We are not looking for anything. We are not looking for any appointments. When Peter Obi is president of Nigeria, there will be enough for me to sleep in peace. My children and grandchildren will enjoy their lives. That's what we want. So I'd like to encourage us going forward that it is time. Now is the time. This new Nigeria that God has promised us, that many of our elders have labored over the years, will come to pass. Amen. Now is the time. And thank God that you and I will be alive and well and see this new Nigeria come to pass. Thank you very much.
Can you jam your hand one more time for our father, our leader? Thank you, sir. Can somebody remember this word? That after now, when we go back, we will tell them what? Let them know that we know. So this time now, we'll beat them at their own game. Isn't it? But I have my own phrase here. I say, let them know that we know that they know that we will win. We will definitely win that one. Jam your hands together for our father. Thank you very much, sir, for that timely word. Very impactful. I know that we are gaining something. If you are gaining something, can you shout? Now, just like our father said earlier, he said, we are people of faith. And there's a story in faith that some certain people had challenges for 6 times. And he said, just as our father said, he said, this, we have done election for 6 times, and this is the 7th time. Isn't it? Now, this set of people were to go into freedom, but they couldn't access freedom for 6 times. But God now told them on the 7th time, when you go that 7 times round again, that you lift up your voice and shout. Now, this is the 7th election that we're going to have in Nigeria. And we're not going to leave here. Can you stand up on your feet and shout, victory! 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 2023, February 25th, we shall be victorious. We shall have a shout. And as you shout victory, APPDC, we fall, we fall, we fall. Can somebody shout freedom? Can somebody shout victory? That shall be our portion. And just like our father have said last year, 26th of February shall be our Christmas, shall be our New Year, shall be our Salah, both the big one and the small one, and all the Salahs together. 26th of February, we shall be celebrating across the streets, in the federal capital, in our houses. Some of you look at our women dressed, they are already dressing victorious. Last week when I came in, I saw one of our mommy dressed, and I said, you dress so beautiful as somebody that is going to win an election. She said, no, let me, a point of order. I have dressed, I'm so dressed because I've won the election. We're only going to the rally to celebrate. Are you hearing me now? So, we will dress to celebrate. We will dance to celebrate. We will make friends to celebrate. We will go out to celebrate. But we will canvass people on the election day. Just tell them, come for my birthday. Just complete Labour Party. And then we'll continue to celebrate there. That shall be our portion. Nigeria shall enjoy her greatness. Daddy, want to thank you for the sacrifices. We can't go further without thanking my father. Please, can everybody stand up on your feet? He has been so sacrificial. He's an epitome of sacrifice. If you look at him, his sacrifice is the reason why some of us are moving. He does the spiritual, he does the physical, he does the street thing. When we did the health work, we were so many that started the journey. And some of us were only moving because we can't go back because our father is still going. And when I checked back, I saw some of our leaders on keke, and they told me, we'll meet you at the junction. Even with all those times, he's so energetic. He's so strong and still pushing. And the bottom line is that he's not doing it for himself or for his family, but he's doing it for some of us that doesn't have the privilege. We know some of us traveling from our various states to this place was war. So how much more if they say Nigeria want to close down? Can you move to Cotonou? No. But he has all the privileges. But he said, no, I must stay back and make sure that these ones that don't have hope have that hope. Daddy want to say thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. We are very grateful, sir. The Lord will bless you, sir. For our generation, we thank you. God bless you. God bless you. We want to thank all our fathers, all our leaders. The age, I call them the young person. I think there's nobody I've troubled so much. I trouble him more than even my younger brothers that are his children. And he only tell me, he said, well, I said, Daddy, you can't run. You only have to be in Christ for us so that we can do the fight. And so that when we fight outside, when we come, you can forgive us. To fulfill scripture. Whosoever sin you forgive is forgiven in heaven. So allow us to do the road one so that your righteousness can always be a cover over us. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. All our leaders, Honorable Pamsin, very wonderful, did a lot of great works, and the encouragement you gave us in the field, and some of us, thank you. Father, Professor Dabin, we want to thank him, and essentially has done really, really great. And our own father, the National Executive Director, He doesn't have any problem but projects. If you bring any problem, say no, go and do the project. When you have done the project, you can now call me and I'll give you good advice. Thank you very much, sir. To all our leaders, everybody here, we say a very wonderful thank you. Our women leader, you are doing very great. We celebrate you. Thank you very much. All of you that are here, can you clap your hands for yourself? You have done very well. You have done very well. Till few hours ago, like an hour ago, people were still coming from different states to attend this meeting. As at 2 p.m., we welcome those from Cross River. 2 a.m., this morning they came in from Cross River. 5 a.m., some other guys came in from other places. Oshobo, we received them at 1 a.m. this morning. Some could not even get the room on time. They said, no problem, we are here. And we took them to some guest houses around. By 3 a.m., we were knocking at guest houses to accommodate some people. Very sacrificial. Thank you very much. I know that a brighter and a better Nigeria awaits us. Come February 25th, a brighter and a better Nigeria awaits us. Our slogan is what? CBBN, new breed without greed. Can we say it louder so that the world will know that there's a new generation that is coming up? CBBN, new breed without greed. CBBN, new breed without greed. New breed without greed. That is our name. Can you celebrate us one more time? Thank you very much as you take your wonderful seat. God bless you. All the women should wait to take a picture. Right? With yourselves, among yourselves. Thank you very much. The Lord bless you. I know some people have been making that request to capture that one side. So we better clear it very well. Some have made requests to snap with our father, but I know that our father will give instruction when due. Thank you, sir, for the permission, sir. Can you clap for me now? I don't make the request. All right. So please, if you have your questions, you want to ask, you have contribution, can you indicate? But we'll also advise, we'll only take just the first 5 persons, and then others can write their question. Even if you are given the opportunity to say something, please write your questions out so that we'll capture them and then we'll treat them. If it's advice, if it's contribution, we will do that, please. Okay, if you have questions, can you raise your hands? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, contribution. Where is 1? 1. No, questions first now. Okay, if you have question, raise your hand. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thank you very much. We just want to spread them. Then if you have contribution, can you raise? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Contribution or question? 4 and 5. Thank you very much. So number 1, can we get the mic? Please go straight to the point. No stories, no pleasantries.
Due protocol observed.
That's pleasantry.
My name is Comrade Joseph Ena Maigari from Adamawa State, M&E Zonal Coordinator Northeast. My first question is that I have been listening with some grievances from various people that if they have been denying the PVC at the end because they know that we are obedient and we are going to win, and we have been denied or misplaced our PVC, can we use the VIN number to vote by beavers? One question. The second one, the second question is that about the professor. Is it? My question is that how do we know those people that have been not been that those polling units that have not been filled up to be replaced because the polling unit agent have not been publicized, that we don't know them before the deadline of lodging? Thank you.
Okay. Number 2. Okay, number 2. Yes. Please, can you hold the mic for them so that, yeah. Go ahead.
My name is Stephen Girma from KB. I have 2 questions. The first one is the ITC said that there should be a feedback, and if in the process of the feedback, the talks came and confiscated the system, how do you give the feedback? That's 1. 2, we understand most of the riggings are not done in the cities, but in the villages. And while in the villages, when they have their thumbprints, they will connive with the security men, and they'll come and fire a gun. While everybody will be running helter-skelter, they'll come and dump the rigged votes into the ballot box, and then later call people back. And it is with that they now come up with a different result. How do we arrest such a situation? Thank you.
Okay, number 3.
Okay, thank you. I'm Dr. Weze Chukwemeka, M&E Benue. Thanks for everybody who has made presentation. The one thing that I did not see throughout the presentation, especially with regards to us being conductors, it's the people that we're conducting are essentially people with PVCs who are relevant in this election. Right now, between now and 31st, PVC collection is still ongoing. I did not see any activity by this in this program with regard enhancing PVC collection, because in my state we have had this voters mobilization that have gone into the field and working undercover as NGO with INEC. There are various areas that they are doing things to frustrate PVC collection, knowing that the young people are actually, the demographic is favoring them. So if we do nothing in getting more voters with PVC, how is it going to translate to the number, or to this number that we're expecting? Thank you. Because we spend so much energy during PVC registration, but I'm not seeing that in collection. Thank you.
Number 4. Are you 4? Here. Look at 4 here, please. Hello, sir. 4. 4 is here. 4 there. 4 there. We are taking questions. So 4. Number 4 is here, and number 5 is there.
Thank you, sir. My name is Anolu Akwabiodun Oluwadamilari, MIE, Ondo State. Sir, thank you. Please, my question is that last week we had a meeting that we are talking about observers, and in this meeting it says the LP server has an issue, and they were unable to solve it early. That even those that submit their observers' names and every other thing like that, including the AJM polling unit agents, party agent, that they were not submitted on time, that they have issue with it. Now, when they were talking now, they did not even make mention of it. Maybe it's still going to happen or not.
This is CBBN meeting, not LP meeting. So if you're asking in context of LP, maybe we'll channel you somewhere. Mm-hmm. But ask concerning this one now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. Now, another question is that, again, in some local governments, we have some issues that we, the CPO, are unable to solve on our own.
Please, can we leave internal issues? Thank you very much. We'll attend to you. There's a CPO chairman here. We'll attend to you. Please, can we give to Chief? Thank you, sir. Chief, yeah, thank you.
Okay, all protocol duly observed. The question I am about to ask is very important to all of us, and let's listen to it. Some informations have gotten to the social media showing APC compromising some voters' card, copying numbers. I wanted a situation where the ICT man will tell me, what does this numbering they are copying, what does it translate to in the rigging that we are assuming they really want to do? And is there any way of making that they are copying of the numbers? Is there any way we can make it null and void during the election?
Thank you very much. I don't know if our father want to respond or our leaders want to respond to the questions, or we'll take the contributions first. Okay.
Yeah, let me just respond to the few I was able to capture. Now, someone said that it may not be practicable to report what happened if they drive the people or whatever. If they drive, you report that you were driven. That's all we are asking. And if you have videos or pictures of the process, just send to us. That's all we are asking you. Report exactly what just happened there. The other intervention will find its natural course and it will be addressed. PVC collection, how far? You are very correct. If you look at the CPO program of events, one key subcommittee is the PVC collection project. We are a little bit starved of funding, but it's something that we want to, in the M&E's meeting, we will look at that and see how we can run intervention in that area. So true, yes. It's something that is very, very needful. We can't expend so much energy in mobilizing people to register, and we will not put in some energy for people to get their PVCs. More so that all the people that registered mostly are young people, and we know the majority of young people's vote are our votes. So yes, we'll do something about it. PU upload wahala. Yes, in as much as it's a Labour Party thing, but I am glad to tell you that CBBN was part of the generation of polling unit agent, and equally we played a very good role. Even the CBBN IT platform was the flagship platform that even the party is using to push this thing to the INEC platform. What INEC did is to insist that you key this agent one by one, instead of what it should be the tradition in modern day terms of doing batch uploading. But we are crossing that matter. As Prof rightly said, more than, if not 100% of polling units have already been taken care of. So it's not a problem. And the ones that we have issues, we will note that, because we have some data and some pictures that came in thereafter. And with this window that is given for change, we will be able to address that equally. I think by and large, is there any other thing I missed? Sorry? Okay, copying. Yes, copying Beaver's numbers by the other, PVC's number by the other parties, especially APC. We've had a lot of that. And I will just give the same answer Prof mentioned here. We know what they know. What is the other part? They know what we know.
So I can assure you that we are conscious of it and it will be of no effect. Thank you. Yes, INEC mentioned that the mistake many people did or are doing is that I have a PVC and I've moved my registration from this particular ward to the other ward. But people still go to the first ward where they had registered and they have done the movement. And that is why immediately you key in there, they will tell you there is no PVC. But if you move to where the new polling unit, you will see the PVC. Now, if you have challenge for PVC collection, that is what that committee of CPO is set for. We have this interaction with the system, and we can track where its PVCs are. So if you just have a problem, link it through the M&Es and the structures that will consummate today, which Selma will work on it. If you pass that information through within the next 3-4 days, we will track where your PVCs is, and then you will get to know. And there are equally some apps that will get you the link. If you key in from your temporal voter's card, the code, it will give you an understanding where to go and check your PVCs. So that is not much of a problem, except if yours is not printed. But INEC promised us that they printed virtually all the PVCs, and they are begging us to go and pick them. Thank you. Okay, you want to add to that? Please do.
There's a suit going on under with Justice Inyako, because what NC is saying is, I guess, the question has to do with a situation where you've tried everything and you could not get it. Because if your PVC ends up inside the soccerway, it's not your fault. And we've seen such circumstances. They were printed, you were not given, or it ends up being flung along Abuja or Lagos Expressway. It's not your fault. So what happens is that there's a suit currently going on, and yesterday there was a... Yes, please. Okay. So the whole gamut of the suit is that if I'm a registered voter and I have my slip, I should be allowed to vote. A civil society organization has taken that to court. It's before Justice Binta Nyako. And the next, I wanted to institute that suit in KB State, personally. But so I noticed that there were other people that were also interested, because it's very important. What if I've done everything? I registered, I took out my time, but there's a deliberate attempt to make sure I don't get this PVC. So the suit is on. The next sitting of that suit is coming up on 24th. Okay, I'll check and I'll get that. So I think the end game is that suit will determine what happens next. I have registered, I have my temporary slip, I've done everything, and I couldn't get. But my name is in the voters register. I've done my civic responsibility, and INEC is not doing theirs. How is it my fault? So I think if we have a platform, we'll follow up on that suit, and the outcome.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. We're very grateful. We're going to contribute. No, please, not you, sir. Not you, sir.
Very important.
Not you, sir. Not
very,
you,
very
sir.
important.
Please, not. Let's follow
I have
protocol.
privileged information.
We are obedient. Let's follow protocol. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate you. Yes. Concerning those, the last meeting we held in INEC, when you have such challenges, or probably you misplace your card or the VIN number or something, if you are properly registered in that place, the machine will also capture you. It can be captured. INEC has agreed to that already. It was even announced by the INEC chairman that once you have your voter's card or there's an issue, you have the temporary slip, you're registered as, and you belong to that particular polling unit, you can still vote. You can still vote. They'll capture you. That's why there and then they'll take your picture and do the other thumbprint. Your biometrics, everything will appear at your center there on that machine. So INEC has already cleared that. What he asked, and what we needed more light is that if your voters, your VIN number have been collected by a party, will those parties use it to upload your data? Can they use it to upload your data and vote on your behalf by proxy? Which is, from our discussion, is no. But I feel that is to be used to like pressure people to do some other things. But then we'll look into it and then give you a definite answer. Thank you very much. So we'll go to contributions. Number one is our president. Please, can you take the mic to him? Contributions.
Good afternoon. My name is Eniola Ojajuni, Afenifere Youth President Wing. Let me stand on a protocol. Daddy, I want to thank you for this initiative. And may Lord continue to give you more wisdom and strength. What I want to say is, I met Daddy a couple of some days back in Lagos. And I have heard about him. Personally, I watched Daddy a lot on social media. When they first did the Jos rally, I was trying to come so that I can meet him personally. To the glory of God, we met, we discussed. As I said, Ojajuni is my name. My first election is when I contest 2015 in Lagos State as of Assembly under AD. What am I saying is to encourage the young Nigerians who are here, because I see the hope of a new Nigeria in every one of us here. This program is to take place today, where I've been just 3 days ago. Personally, take a stop in Abuja to some Nasarawa to make an observation of what is really happening in the northern part of this country. And I discovered that Nigerians are ready to vote, particularly obedient. Like in Southwest, the tension has come down. It has come down to 10%, let me just put it that way. Because Baba Devanjo has given us a hope. If not for Baba Devanjo, the Apex Afenifere, they were cause some of us a bastard. I come from a royal family in Igbo Kingdom. When in a meeting some months back, some of my brothers challenged me that, how dare you be promoting an Igbo man to be the president of Nigeria? And I told him, an Igbo man, is it a sin? In as much as Nigeria is in one country, it is entitlement to the Igbo to produce the next president, because Yoruba people stand for equity, justice, and fair. To the glory of God, I contested the election 2015. I don't spend 2 million naira. I came third. And I lost the election. No, I came second. I lost the election with 15 votes. Why? Consistent, glorious passion for Nigeria that I have what it takes to go to the House of Assembly to promote the interest and to promote policy that can be able to promote the interest in terms of job creation. I don't stop there. I contest for governor twice in my state. The last election, I don't even have 1,000 poster, and I came fourth through the powers of social media. So what I'm saying this today, my dear fellow Nigerian youth, we have what it takes to win this election. Don't just believe that you came far away from your state to this place. It's a sacrifice. Daddy has said, if you don't believe in this faith, in this journey, if you don't have faith, it can't work for you. The Bible says when the righteous are on the throne, the people rejoice. But when the wicked are dead, that's what Howard has today. I call the APC the witchcraft, the PDP the wizard. And the Bible says, suffer the wish not to live. This country belongs to you, my fellow Nigerian youth. I'm so happy that I saw this my young man from Oshogbo. Something happened when Mr. President came to Oshogbo some few weeks back. I took a stand. Mr. President was looking at me. Call me that young man. I said, are you the Afenifere? I said, yes. He was so impressed. He was so encouraged that we can see how some youth Nigeria can do this. So my fellow Nigerian youth, I don't have much to say. When we get back to our real destination, we have a lot to do. Just like yesterday, I never knew that company have some things for us. He asked me, I quickly gave you some information. During January last year, we never knew that divorce is coming. The Bible says, when the cry of a righteous man gets true, I'm a pastor, I forgot that verse. When you are laboring, we never knew something like that is coming. We have what they call Afenifere Youth Empowerment in National Stadiums at TBS. We have about 4,000 people participated in that program in terms of difference. So we bring a partner from abroad. After we have that database, when the issue of El-Buba came, we use that structure to do what? To send our soldiers to the field. As I'm talking to you now, the Afenifere Youth Council in Lagos, in Ondo, everywhere, we are going to deliver 5 million votes for Peter Obi. It's not that we are boasting. It is what we have on system already. It's what we have on system. Last week, 2 weeks ago, we have a rally in Ondo State. There was a challenge. I comforted one of our leaders. Let me not mention them here. I comforted them. I said, if you guys don't do the needful thing, I will stop this rally right from the youth program with the student. They were begging me. Say, this is my state. I contest election. We must show these people that we have what it takes. A governor told us that obedience are not in Ondo State. A governor who has failed me in my local government for 18, 20 years. There is no light. A place that produces oil. Do you think it's easy for me to come from Lagos to fly from Lagos to Abuja, Abuja to this place? Because it's a sacrifice I have to pay. My dear fellow Nigeria, that mindset of Yomilokoe is a satanic mindset, witchcraft mindset, they are selfish mindset. It is Nigeria local, myself.
Thank you.
If Peter Obi become president today, sir, in the next 4 years, ordinary Nigeria will come from farmer to contest election and it will win.
Yes.
It will win.
Thank you.
So, the voice of the Yoruba youth is going to speak. The voice of the Northern Arewa and also the South. Everybody is speaking. By God's grace, we are doing an endorsement for Peter Obi on the 14th of February. In the history of this country, that endorsement has never happened. We are bringing Arewa, the Joint Youth Nation, the Middle Belt, and the Anyese. We convinced them to Anyese. We told them that come out. It is your boy. It is your turn. We must produce the next president, Peter Obi Adante. Lastly, the Bible says the kingdom of God suffer violence, and violence taken by force. And what is that for? It's not by fire. It's not. You use your PVC. TB Joshua told me something some years back. He said, "This is a witchcraft. This is your destiny, and this is your breakthrough." And there was a block hole here. What should they say? Devil, get out! It will speak from you.
Thank you.
Our PVC is our instrument to send APC to desert.
Thank you.
Send APC and PDP to where they belong.
Great Nigerian youth.
May God bless
Great Nigerian youth.
And may God
Can we stand up? Great Nigerian youth. Great Nigerian youth. Thank you, President. You spoke presidential. Thank you very, very much. Yes, Daddy, I can attest to the challenge in Ondo State, and I can also say that after those crises and those struggles, we struggled. Some of us had to exchange verbal words, but then we got the result. That was one of the biggest and greatest rally in the Southwest, followed by Osun State. So can you clap hand for our president? And in the pipeline, from the extract of our discussions, we're also planning that the Afenifere, the Arewa youth, the Indibo youth are coming together to have another coalition in the coalition center here. So very soon, we are conquering everywhere. If Kanu can produce this, then that means they are part of our coalition. We have already conquered the north already. Can you jam your hands for God in our position and thank our Father for that privilege? Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Yes, please, he preached, I almost collected offering after this. So please, just 2 minutes.
Okay, good day, all protocols observed.
Yes.
And present. I am by name Promises Samuel Karma. Seriously, I don't know what we are thinking right now, but I strongly believe that Peter will win. But I want you and I to understand that we are dealing with a lion. No, seriously. Let's speak the facts. But the difference between us and them is that they are old lions and they are weak lions, and we are young and strong lions. And now, I have written some of the most imperative points, just few points that we should work with, which I experienced during 2015 and 2011 election. Now, we should have a forum on social media encrypted. Now, when I mean the word encrypted, that means it will not be easily accessible. whereby our agent can send any form of video, images, and any proof of illegal activities in the polling unit to that social media forum. Yes, that portal. Reason being that 2011 and 2012, there were mischievous acts on that polling unit. And we send it on free air, but they track all those things. And all those videos, some will not have sound, some will be blurred, some will be cracking, and one thing or the other. They are disrupting all those videos. That's number one. Now, number two, please, as an agent, not to compromise any form of money from any party. Please. I know why I am saying this, because they came to us and brought millions. And seriously, I didn't take any. But some of our just took, and they called them later. So please, any form of money, we should avoid it. Yes. Now, number three, right? Please stay for each other. Why am I saying this? One of our friends, we met at police unit when they went for election in another village. It was the Muslim brothers that hid and protected them. Yes. So please, if you have many Muslims and you are going to a Muslim environment and you are a Christian, please, the Muslims should come together. And if there's anything,
thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. God bless you. Can you clap your hands for him? Thank you very much. Daddy, this is a football team. They've been playing, especially around the Jos North area. They've been playing matches from one place to the other, and the grand final is coming, and they are going to mobilize their people. In all their matches, they use those avenues to display and campaign for Obi before the match. It's like that's the national anthem. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you for being part of this team. Please, my obedient brother, thank you for being obedient. Please, can you tell us what you have for us now? Can you clap hand for him, please?
Good afternoon, everyone. Sikak Stanley Etmi is my name. I particularly agreed to come for this meeting because I heard we're going to meet my prophet, El-Buba. I always listen to him, and he always encouraged me and increases my passion for a great Nigeria. You see, we have said it here, that we know what they know, and they know that we know what they know. And my brothers, my sisters, the fact is that we have not done what we know that we know. Elections are won in the grassroots and in INEC Saba. As I speak to you, we do not have a representation in that INEC room. You must have representation. And I have privileged information. So that's the reason why I'm here. And I cannot share that information just like that. I've given my card to
we'll get to meet you after now. Thank you very much for that privileged information. Thank you very much. Please, I just have 2 hands more. There's one here. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. I am Prince Zadeh Yafiz, the CPO, Osun State M&E. Standing on the existing protocol, I appreciate our father, Prophet El-Buba. Thank you very much, sir, for putting this together. I'm a Muslim, but every time I listen to his speech, because it drives me and it makes me more stronger. You see, what I want to just add is, I want to talk a little about the grassroots of my contribution. You see, it's good to market a good product. When you are marketing a good product, you have this confidence in you. Because you know there is nowhere you will go, they will accept. One of the challenges I had in Osun State during our grassroots, in Osun State we activated our 60 days door-to-door sensitization in all the local governments across the 31 local governments in Osun State. And we have been able to visit 5 local governments. When we got there, the first thing I noticed that some of them will tell you, if it was Agbado or generator you came to tell us with, we would have stoned you with pure water. This alone it makes my spirit more stronger, and I keep pushing.
When we started, no money, nothing. The little we had, we just printed a little material. But when they saw what we were doing, I'm proud to tell you that a day before, yesterday, before I embark on this journey, I received in Osun State 20,000 posters, 20,000 dummy ballots, because they saw what we are doing. What I'm saying in essence is this, is that we the youths, when we keep pushing, it is the passion that pushes us. When they saw what I was doing in Osun, sir, someone called me from the Agbados. They told me, all this thing you are doing, you are just laboring in vain. They will not give you money. We don't have money to give you. Let us pay for your flight. I can show you. Let us pay for your flight. We'll take you to Tinubu. You will get reinforced. And I said,
Thank you
no.
very much.
So what I'm saying is that let's come together. Let that spirit that is pushing us, let it keep pushing us, and we'll get there. By God's grace, they said we need 25% in Osun State, and I said we are giving 80%. Thank you.
Thank you. Every spirit of Agbado and Ewa, Holy Ghost. Every spirit of Agbado and Ewa, Holy Ghost. It will not be our portion. All right, thank you.
Yeah, good afternoon. My name is Comrade Joel Ibrahim Malo. I want to quickly draw attention to one of the critical areas I observe that makes most parties to lose the election, especially on the ballot when you have to vote. You find out that 1,000 people will be on a queue already, you know, these are obedient. But when the vote counting comes, you find out that this is valid and this is invalid. And we must be very careful not to throw our vote on that aspect. So why I want to draw our attention to this is that let us advise everybody, especially when we go to grassroots campaign and teaching people on how to vote on the ballot, not to too much inside their hand on the ink or press it too much because they want to see the ink before they thumbprint. Just touch the ink very gently and touch the ballot paper just once. Don't press it too much. An ink is an ink, whether little, shabby, or bold. It is a credible vote. So we should take note of that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, go ahead.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Engineer Egbe Usezeli Samuel, MIE Edo State.
Please speak louder.
Yeah. What I want to say is on the unity of the different groups that are represented in this place. The Bible said a house divided against itself cannot stand. We are going to face a very fierce election. And if we are going as a divided thing, I have really not seen in us. By the grace of God, I was the state coordinator of Obaseki Shaibu movement in Edo State. If you follow up the Edo State election, last election, we were the one that actually told Tinubu that I do not be Lagos. And no matter how much you bring to Edo State, it won't work, and it did not work. We are all for Peter Obi right now, and we are still saying the same thing. We are going to be issuing statement very soon to our governor. And everybody will hear the statement. But one thing I have not seen, especially in our media team, is using the advantage of what we have to propagate the gospel that we are preaching on social media. Like that young man said, we cannot undermine the power of social media. Then secondly, from my follow-up in social media, there are a lot of people that are sent to demean the character of our principal. And we are not refuting. Whether we like it or not, we are sending messages across to people who does not have access to the truth. I went to a village sometimes last week, an interior.
You have few seconds.
Yes, I went to an interior, and I went to meet the elders. The elders told me that they don't want to lose their vote. I said, what do you mean? He said, because they don't really talk and say, even if Peter Obi win, they're not going to give him. It's a propaganda. You may think that he's not doing something, but if I didn't go there, I would not know that that's the mindset of those people. So I want our social media team to really come out If there is a propaganda, we must refute and counter. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Can we have the man from Ebonyi? I think that's the last man. Yes, thank you. That this man came in from Ebonyi around 12 last night. You're welcome, sir.
I have my personal experience, which may be beneficial. When during voter card registration, I only changed my word from word B to word A. It was a mistake that was made in 2017 when I did the first one. So I now went to collect my voter's card. And they checked the polling unit, and they didn't see my card. Unknown to them, I had gone to the app and actually printed out my voter's card. So when they said they didn't see it, from 3-4 wards within that same place, I told them, said, no, it cannot be. That I have seen my voter's card on the platform, on the INEC. So what happened was that when you update your PVC, you don't need a new PVC. You will go down and be looking for it. They didn't do a new one for you. The one you have in your pocket is still valid. That's the experience I want to share. You'll be looking for it and you think of any other kind of ways that you have been defrauded. You don't need a new one. So some of us just updated our PVC. Not that it didn't print another one for us. Secondly, I have an experience I think Nigerians should know. In Ebonyi State, barely 1 month after the Labour Party came on board, there was sack and dismissal. And so we have been laboring under 2 Labour Party offices. The whole place position officers had a meeting to sue those who had bought intention forms and paid money to the party, up to the governorship level. That a few days ago, a whole place person who didn't pay shishi now has defeated a governorship candidate in an appeal court over a technicality that they did not submit their summons on sit-at-home day when the councils went there and the court was not open. So now, with this expensive litigation, our support groups in Ebonyi, all the candidates are spending money on their cases. Some have got 3 times gone to court because when they settle out of court, the other person will set, like the senatorial candidate, somebody settled with 400,000, another person settled with 1 million. So the 400,000 person will go to court to say that he needs higher money. And they're winning, even in the appeal court. Surprisingly, after they lost in the state high court. So Ebonyi support groups do not have materials for sensitization and mobilization because the candidates have been tied down in expensive suits. I'm crying out so that any support group or donor groups can please come to the aid of Ebonyi State support groups.
All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Can you clap your hands for that? You're making an appeal, and I believe our leaders have heard you. Please, this very important announcement, all representations from the Southwest should please hold on, wait immediately after this morning session to meet with, we're going to have a meeting with the Afenifere president and all that group. I want to assure you good news for the Southwest. Our father will be visiting the Southwest from February. Can you celebrate that? Please use every medium, every channel to connect and invite your friends that you know that are around there to come for those town hall meetings. It's going to go throughout all the states in the Southwest. So please use your medium. We'll connect that and then we'll give you full information. Thank you very much. All the women, please, you wait immediately after the meeting for just a brief meeting. Then all my guys from Jos, IBBN Jos, CBBN Jos, all of you, we're going to meet immediately after now. Thank you very, very much. Can we all rise up on our feet as we welcome our Father? Okay, and then all the M&Es and all the coordinators should please wait after this meeting.
Well, let us celebrate each other with a clap. And it's a wonderful, wonderful time. It's been a refreshing moment. I would like you to reach out to 3 people and tell them, well done. Very good. Want to thank you for the way I have watched you and the way you have given your attention. That's fine. And the way you've given yourself the rapt attention to each of the lectures. Thank you for refusing distraction and taking instruction, listening to the lectures given by our teachers and lecturers. I really appreciate your maturity, your discipline, and your dedication. Go ahead and clap your hands. Usually, when you go to certain places, you find a seminar moment is rowdy, noisy, and then you find people that have come in, so much investment, at the end of the day, it's just a political thing, disorderly and all of that, but you have made a difference. The way you've comported yourselves and the way you've given your attention, that shows that you're really serious with the game that is before us. And by the grace of God, we will go on a 2-hour break. And please take note of the timing. The moment it is few minutes to the 2-hour, just walk back into the hall. Remember, this is the last meeting we will have together like this before we will have the Christmas and Salah celebration at the Eagle Square. This is the last one. So we need to, even if it is fasting, that fasting is good for you. Not eating for a day is also a way of cleansing your system. Is that right? So please, if you're going for lunch, be orderly. Make sure you get your meal. Sit down, reflect over what we've been told. That I chose to be farmer 1, not even farmer 2. I chose to be a farmer and not a hunter. That we have come to plant the right seed and watch our seed give us the harvest that is required. Is that right? And the lessons that we have both learned here, we should be able to make use of it. Like I said in the beginning, we don't need this crowd of leaders. We need only 37 people that will shake the 37 states. And the 37 people are here. Are they here? 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 That's right. And so we are CBBN. No, we are one family. And we are mandated with one mission and one mandate. And that's why all of us have lost our identity into one family. Is that correct? And we are living with one language, with one mission. Remember this. Life is not about running away from challenges. Life is about facing your challenge and turn your challenge to a testimony. Remember, the size of the battle you fight will determine the size of honor you will have. So we are excited at these ravenous wolves, these mountainous forces. We know that with our little stone, we will bring down that Goliath.
Okay? So as you go on break, meditate, reflect, and make up yourself and say, by the grace of God, I will be the one, the finger that God will use to strike to the enemy's territory. Thank you for your commitment and thank you for your sacrifice. See you a few hours from now. God bless you.
Can you celebrate my father? Thank you very much, Daddy. Thank you, sir, for your time. Please, all our guests can please go downstairs and take your lunch while all coordinators, M&Es will please, and IBBN leaders will please hold on, wait behind.
Sorry, let me adjust that. We are all going for lunch. We are all going for lunch. But for the guests, after the lunch, you can go home. We are going to have a syndicate session for all our directors, all our M&Es,